Hashem, welcome to everybody who came here tonight. I'm Laurie Novick, and I'm the director and head writer for Deracheha. And I'm so excited that all of you were able to make it here to join us tonight. Thank you to the many illustrious educators who are here with us tonight. A special shout out to the students here from Migdalos and from other Midrashot who made it here to join us. And thank you to all the lovers of Torah who came here to join us this project. Deracheha is really about learning Torah, and we made a conscious decision that the center of what we're doing tonight should not be talking about learning, but learning. That being said, I do want to add a little bit about how I see what this project is and what its potential is. I'll try to keep it brief, and I'll confess that I can't resist, and I'm going to start with a little bit of Torah myself. There's a midrash, a wonderful midrash in Ruth Rabbah about Megillat Ruth that I'd like to share with you that I think gives some insight into what this project is about. The setting for this midrash is that Ruth has gone down to the Goren. She's had her nighttime encounter with Boaz. She's convinced Boaz that he indeed is going to be the Redeemer. He's going to marry her, and he promises her that he's going to take care of the matter, though there is another person, a closer member of the family, a closer kin, who has first dibs, and he has to settle that. And in fact, when Ruth comes back to Naomi, and she gives Naomi an accounting of what happened between her and Boaz, Naomi assures her that, don't worry, Boaz is going to take care of this as soon as possible. This is going to happen fast. And sure enough, the next thing we know is that Boaz goes down to the city gates, and something uncanny happens. Boaz ala hashar, vayeshev sham, v'hinei hagorel over, asher diber Boaz. Boaz goes to the gates. We know what's on his mind, and instantaneously, the very man that he's looking for appears right at the gates. And the Midrash picks up on how surprising this is, and they ask, Ma la'achorei Torah havakayim? What, was the girl just waiting outside the gate the whole time, just almost like a prop in a show for Boaz to appear? How improbable, how surprising is this? Amar Rav Shmuel bar Nachman, what's the answer? Afilu haya b'sof ha'olam, hitiso HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'vio l'sham. The answer is that even if the Goel, even if the Redeemer had been at the very ends of the earth, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have made sure that he could make it there, to be there for Boaz at that moment. How can this be? Why should this be the moment of all moments where our rabbis are highlighting divine intervention in Megillat Ruth? Well, there's another drasha that follows hot on the heels of this one, which adds something, helps us understand what's going on. And it's in the name of Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer omer, Boaz asa et shelo, v'Ruth asta et shela, v'Naomi asta et shela. Rabbi Eliezer says, Boaz did his bit, and Ruth did her bit, and Naomi did her bit. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem says, Af ani aseh sheli. I'm going to do my bit too. In other words, up to this stage in the story, what our sages are telling us is that every player in the story that we've met, that we've been introduced to so far, has had to take real initiative, has really had to contribute to making the wheels of redemption get set in motion. None of these things could have happened if there hadn't been Ruth ready to cling to her mother-in-law and take action, if it hadn't been for Naomi ready to open her eyes to the possibility that her life, her line, her dreams were not over, if it hadn't been for Boaz opening his eyes to the possibility that he himself could be the Redeemer in this case and could make the difference. And when all of these players are willing to take responsibility for what they can do, that's the moment where HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, it doesn't matter if the goal's at the end of the earth. I'm going to make sure that he's going to be at the gate in the here and now. What does that have to do with us tonight? To me, this represents what this project is on two levels. On the first level, it has to do with the scholars, the leaders, the educators, all the talented people who've been involved in helping create this project. Because effectively, what we're all saying by doing this is that we need to do our bit. The job's not done in making halakha accessible to women, in telling the halachic story in a coherent way that takes a woman's perspective, that says the woman is the main subject of the story. She's not a footnote or a corollary. Her avodat Hashem is central to our narrative and how we're going to talk about halakha. And we're doing everything possible to lay that out and to make it possible for women to understand more and more about what halakha can tell us about our avodat Hashem. And it's also important for our vision of what Deracheha can be on another level, because we don't see this project as a book or as something static or even as an institution. We see this project as a community. What we want to build here, and everyone who's here tonight is part of that vision, is a conversation, a movement, something along the lines of what Rabbanit Esti Rosenberg mentioned in what we just saw in the movie. We want to create a real dialogue where more and more of us in our community, women and men alike, are taking responsibility for the halachic engagement and for the avodat Hashem of everyone in the community. And that's the big vision here. So we need to do our bit. We need to create this project in a way that honors Torah and that honors anyone who might want to make use of the Torah that we're sharing. And we're hoping that you'll do your bit, and that you'll learn with us, and that you'll help bring other people to learn with us, and that you'll take what you learn from what we put on the web or what we're putting out there in other media, and that you'll find ways to bring it to your communities and make it real and have an impact. L'hagdil Torah, l'hadira.